Good afternoon, Steel City. Welcome to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Our 64th edition, live from the original podcast room of the Black and Gold. On this afternoon's show, less than a month to the 2025 draft, and our Black and Gold has two listed quarterbacks on their roster. We hear from Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, and Art Rooney II on the way they feel is a real positive sign that Aaron Rodgers will be in Black and Gold. I'll give you my thoughts in a summary also on this unlikely situation the Steelers have themselves in. Let's go Steelers. Pittsburgh Penguins, I'll honestly say, gave the playoff spot a real shot on goal, although they eventually missed empty net chances. As it well goes, those are hockey terms about it, but at least there are hockey milestones still happening. Let's go Pens. The Pittsburgh Pirates opening day 2025 at PNC Park was a torpedo bat mashing by the Yankees. Pirate fans are chanting sell the team, and team owners and managers are getting all heat to really be blindfolded and walk the plank. I have some superlatives to back this up. Be careful, Bucko fans. This is slippery, slippery deck. We are on board for 2025. Let's go Pirates. Today's show, of course, being rescheduled due to the sports show with a meet and greet with Rod Woodson and Terry Bradshaw. Last night, I have the memorabilia to show that I obtained from both Let's Go Steelers forever. I will start today's show off with our tremendous sponsors, IE Sports Radio, new sponsor Vital, along with the amazing Planet Jerky Premium Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on another planet. And Steel, the Steel Wax Stand. You bring the steel, we'll bring the steel. Plus, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and why we are on the air doing the Yinzer Report. In Steel City, please come join me. This is the 64th episode of the Yinzer Report, 43rd live on StreamYard. The Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Ralph Calise, your host of the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Thank you for tuning in to my rescheduled show from last night. We were not on the air last night at our normal time at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. IE Sports Radio granted me the show today at 12 p.m. because I didn't want to miss a show. And I always want to share the Pittsburgh sports out there with you guys. So we're going to do that. But just to aforemention, let's get back to thank you for listening to the sponsors to begin the show there. As always, they are very, as I use now, vital to us as the sponsor there for Vital Apparel is. They're very important to us, and they mean a lot to the station, and they mean a lot to the host of all the shows out here. So we also have a new one. Our newest sponsor is Raw Nutrition Supplements. And you could check these supplements out at getrawnutrition.com. And if you use promo code IESR, you will get yourself 10% off on all your Raw Nutrition supplements. So check that out if you're into that type of thing. Just to move on, my contacts here for the radio show is at Yinzer Report _IE. That is on X Twitter. And my personal account is at Calise R786. If you have any concerns or things you'd like to bring up for the show, please feel free to contact me at my personal or the show's account on X Twitter, and that'll be much appreciated. Next up would be, we are now starting, as I've been mentioning the past few weeks, we now have a supporters club for the Yinzer Report. And what this does is it's a support feature for the show that I've been granted to do here on the Yinzer Report from IE Sports Radio. And what it is it's a supporters club. You click on that link as you see it scrolling on the bottom of the page there in the gold. You click on that and you can throw $5 out there towards your host here, Ralph Calise, on the Yinzer Report. And that'll help me along in the podcast journey here with IE Sports Radio as well as IE Sports Radio. And it'll grant me some features and other things that I can do. And if you also do support me, I will have you on as a guest on the show. You will co-host the show with me, and I will let you host the show with me as your co-host if you would like to do that. So that's a little extra out there added for you if you wanted to jump into that. All right, so don't forget, I have the chat is up. If you're out there and you want to throw a comment out there in my newly my newly phrased the Yinzer chatter chat. It's one of my favorite parts of the show. So we'll get into that in a little bit. And let's get into why we are here. And our first topic is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. And as you see in the gold bubble there, I have the Steelers, all positive signs on Aaron Rodgers. And at this point right now, I do feel he will be a Pittsburgh Steeler. The only problem is when. So what I did is I did a summary. I like to write out my summaries and my notes and just read them out as like a reporter for what I am doing, reporting for the Yinzer Report here. And we'll start out with this. And, of course, this is a summary of what's going on with the topic below there. And it's Pittsburgh Steelers 2025 at the NFL owners meeting. And we heard from all three important figures of the Steelers that matters. And that is, of course, Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, and team owner and president Art Rooney II. And also thrown in there was our former icon quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. And what this is their positive comments on free agent quarterback Aaron Rodgers signing with the Steelers. So we'll go back to last Friday, a little refresher Friday. Aaron Rodgers visited the Steelers facility in Pittsburgh. He had about a 6-hour meeting that had been said to have gone very well, especially his part with the offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith. And upon leaving, there was a very healthy handshake between Rodgers and the Steeler brass. Now, who that handshake was with, I don't know, but it just was mentioned that there was a nice handshake between Rodgers and the team. So let's fast forward to the beginning of this week, this past Monday, where the team owners, general managers, and coaches are meeting for the 2025 NFL owners meetings. And the Steelers had their high brass in attendance, of course, Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, Art Rooney II. And, of course, the main questions that they were fielding would be about their pursuit of Aaron Rodgers. So here we go. Hashtag here we go. But here we really go on what was said on their thoughts on Aaron Rodgers' visit last Friday and the possibility of signing with the Steelers. First up, GM. Oops, I made a mistake. Not GM. I mean head coach Mike Tomlin. Being sarcastic there. Here's what he said. We had a very productive meeting with Rodgers with his visit last Friday. We've known each other a long time, and the respect we have for each other game time-wise is pure. He's been in this thing a long time, and I've been in this thing a long time, but there's no substitute for spending time together in a non-competitive environment. Like I said, it was really good. I do not have any new updates where this process leads us. Tomlin said he is comfortably unsettled at this time of year with the QB position, but we are in talent acquisition, and we have great means of acquiring it right now through the upcoming draft and free agency. We multitask, we do both, we fulfill our needs through free agency and the other needs through the draft this time of year. Day-to-day can be uncomfortable, and it is a process. So that was some of the things he answered on the question about Aaron Rodgers and where it was at. What I took out of his answers was his most interesting comment was that he has been in consistent contact with Rodgers since their last meeting Friday. So Tomlin's comments there, they all seem positive, but once again, the guy is not signed. Aaron Rodgers is still not, signed by the Steelers. All right, so now we'll move on to Omar Khan, the Steelers general manager. He mentioned right off the bat the trade for DK Metcalf. He said we went quick on trading for DK Metcalf, and we were rewarded with a playmaker. They did get a great playmaker there, and as you know, like they said, the show has been rescheduled since last night, and I was talking to a lot of football personnel at the show last night, and they were just like oozing over the fact that DK Metcalf and George Pickens are going to be playing together as a team because somebody had mentioned that they had heard that there's trade going on for Pickens. and they felt that wouldn't be feasible right now, especially if we get Aaron Rodgers with these two guys. But that's a story for another day. We'll see what happens with that. Omar Khan went on to say, we want 4 quarterbacks on our roster at training camp. All options are on the table. We can fill in that need via free agency, via trade. I feel it's the time of friend. He said, I feel time is a friend, not necessarily a negative. So that's got to be thrown right at Aaron Rodgers. I feel time is a friend, not necessarily as a negative. So you can look into that comment as you wish. We have time to figure it out, and we feel good about our process. Our goal, as always here in Pittsburgh, has been we need to identify the right people, meaning the right players, and it's very important to us. Now, don't forget, Omar Khan, he's the now general manager. I think he's in his 3rd year, but he was always in the Steelers system as a lower type of personnel. So he has been around, and that was a very interesting comment there. How he said we need to identify the right people, meaning the right players, and it's very important to us. So if that's all towards Aaron Rodgers, those are all positive signs. So he gave a positive outlook there, I think, for Aaron Rodgers. And now we'll get to Art Rooney II. Yes, the Steelers team. Yes, he is the Steelers team owner and president of our team. He came out and said, our team is getting positive signals regarding the status of Aaron Rodgers. We, of course, cannot wait forever for him to come to a decision being a free agent and regarding if he wants to play football in 2025. But our meeting with him did go well in regards to playing football in 2025. And our hope is he will be on the Steelers 2025 roster. Hopefully we will know something soon. We cannot wait around forever. Rooney II also commented on Aaron Rodgers' practice session throwing to DK Metcalf recently at a UCLA facility. What had happened there is I guess he was in contact with DK Metcalf, and he went out to UCLA at their facility, and he was throwing some practice balls with DK Metcalf. Rooney said, I would say it's a good sign that he wanted to do that because we keep hearing that he is headed in our direction. So those are all good signs thus far. So you look into that comment, and he says, we keep hearing that he is headed in our direction. Okay, that sounds good. Steeler, that was his comments, and like I finished up there, he said those are all good signs so far. So the higher ups there have they've given positive comments about it, but once again, the guy still is not signed. Now, here was a very interesting thing I found I found out there. Ben Roethlisberger, former Steeler quarterback, as you know, everybody out there knows my 1A favorite Steeler of all time. He has his own podcast out there called Footballin'. It's spelled FOOTBAHLIN, I believe. BALHIN. There is, I wrote it on the paper here. And here's what he said. Ben Roethlisberger also had some thoughts this week on his podcast, Footballin'. He said, I really believe that he's going to be a Steeler. Roethlisberger said the Steelers are going to draft a quarterback in the draft, and he feels Rodgers may be holding. Well, that was the good side of what he said. Here's a little turn of maybe what he feels what Aaron Rodgers is doing. He feels that Aaron Rodgers may be holding out for the Minnesota Vikings, being that they are more suitable to compete for a Super Bowl at this point. Big Ben with that interesting comment as well, as he viewed the practice session. His thoughts on that was with DK Metcalf, he feels it's a little bit of a slight, saying that it's all good getting balls to him at practice, but yet you still have not signed. And I figured that was an interesting comment right there. That Aaron Rodgers, he's saying that Aaron Rodgers is out there throwing practice balls to DK Metcalf, but yet Aaron Rodgers still ain't signing. But like I've mentioned in past shows, don't let this just go by what you hear from them and what they say. Don't wrap yourself around everything that's going out there in TV land and social media land about coming, going, everything. as I always said here on the Yinzer Report, when Mike Tomlin talks, you listen to Mike Tomlin. I mean, he's usually right on schedule. He's not going to tell you the wrong. And now you have the other two guys talking about it, and it all seems positive. So we'll see what happens with that. But there was some interesting comments in there by Ben, both ways. But now I'm going to give you how I feel what's going to happen. So here's a little summary I wrote on all this through the week. Me, honestly, I think it's a done deal. Okay, I feel a very high percentage sure he's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. This, of course, is not me knowing anything, just an opinion. There are a lot of people that know a lot more than me for real, and as their opinion, because they are way more connected to it than I, that came out and said that it's not the case. Right now, though, I will say I respectfully don't believe that, and I think it's a done deal. Now, come on, these are the Pittsburgh Steelers. As well, we're a team that's historically and respected and in tune on things like this as an organization in football. And you mean to tell me that the Steelers are just rolling the dice at this position that they covet the most, and the Steelers are just going to see what happens? No way. We're in a division with Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and possibly their first-round draft pick, Kenny Pickett, as a starter in Cleveland. And there is no way we'll see what happens with the 21st draft pick, especially a draft that is not heavy and deep at quarterback position. No way they don't know what Aaron Rodgers. No way they don't know that Aaron Rodgers is not coming to Pittsburgh, and that Aaron Rodgers hasn't told the Steelers somehow, some way his decision. I will say again, I refuse to believe the Pittsburgh Steelers, less than a month from the draft, don't have a very clear plan and confirmation of who their quarterback is going to be, and are just completely flying by the seat of their pants. Like I said, I think it's a done deal. I think he'll be a Steeler. Don't know exactly when it will happen, before or after the draft. But your host here, Ralph Calise, thinks, yes, he will be a Steeler, and he will be donning the black and gold as a Steeler quarterback. So that's where I'm at with all this. And, hey, we'll see what happens. And it's an ongoing thing. And the draft is coming up, like I said, less than 3 weeks away. I think, like Ben, I think they're going to draft a quarterback no matter what. So, like, if Aaron Rodgers signs, they're not going to use their first pick on a quarterback. They're going to draft somebody in the second round because they need another quarterback. And there is no mention out there of them signing another veteran or anybody out there. So I think they're definitely going to draft a quarterback. But if Aaron Rodgers signs, I don't think it's going to be in the first round. It'll be a second round pick, maybe third round pick. Don't forget they were very high. They're very high on that guy Milroe from Alabama, and he was very, very, very high about having dinner with them at his pro day after his pro day tryout there. So if Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign, then maybe they're going to do something in the draft, like they mentioned, via free agency and the draft via trade. They'll probably trade in the first. Well, if they get they've posted Jackson Dart already, so he's on their list to be a quarterback for the Steelers. If they don't get Aaron Rodgers, I think they're going to use their first round pick on a quarterback, whether that guy drops to them or they trade up and try to get somebody. So that's where it's at. Time will tell. The draft is coming up, and we go on in Steeler land right now as Mason Rudolph as our quarterback and Skylar Thompson as the backup. Those are the only two quarterbacks on the list. And that's where that is at with the Steelers and their quarterback situation. All right, so we'll take that down. I'll put my contacts back up. And slow day out there. It's a Saturday afternoon. Probably people just getting their day going. We have the comments that are up so far in the Yinzer Chatter Chat, we have Raymond Man. Hello, Ralph. Good to see you. Have a great show. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And my nephew, Danny Man, as always, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for everything you do for me for the show. He says, hi, Ralph. Have a great show. And we have Marcus Lewis Great. Salud. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining in. All right, so we're going to take a break, and we'll come back. We're going to get into the Pirates' terrible beginning of their season. And this is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Here is the IE Sports Radio drop. And, this is a good drop. This was done by our boss, Larry B., and he did a great job on this. I'm sure you guys have heard this. So here it is. I'm trying to get it.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
The roar of the crowd, the drama and pageantry, the adrenaline rush and decadence of the world of professional wrestling. Join yours truly, the SoCal Saint, for the best pro wrestling podcast going today, the IE Wrestling Show, exclusively on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Join us every Wednesday from 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, every Wednesday, the IE Wrestling Show. It's just too woo!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Notorious Lava.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
right, welcome back. This is Ralph Calise, your host from the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's get into the Pirates real quick. And as you can see in the yellow bubble underneath on the screen, the Pittsburgh Pirates are having a tough beginning to the 2025 season. So Pittsburgh fans, Pirate fans are up in arms already about the Pirates in 2025. And here was a summary of the first week for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates 2025 season off and possibly slipping off the deck. We had so much optimism last Friday after opening day was completed, although a tough loss, but Paul Skeens showing the Pirates will battle in 2025. What has happened since after opening day was a 4-game losing streak, and baseball being played like a Yinzer would say, this ain't no Buccos baseball. Oh, boy. Isn't that the truth? But the bullpen is a disaster, making the Pirates the first team to be walked off for their first 3 losses in a season since the 1924 Pittsburgh Pirates. The starting pitching has been the early bright spot so far, but the season giving the Pirates a glimmer of hope for any type of wins. But we gotta blame this on the Pirates higher up. So we'll start with the manager. We'll start with Derek Shelton. Though Derek Shelton, yes, we know has never had enough good players, which is fine, I guess. But his teams have largely been sloppy, lacking fundamentals, and general poor situational baseball, and there have been little to no repercussions from him for it. To me, those things are inexcusable. He did mention a true statement regarding the disastrous beginning of the game, saying and sounding optimistic. The team's just got to keep going. It's early in the season, and we have been in every game. I will say, hearing that the Pittsburgh Pirates are in for a long season, there are fans already saying the season is over, and it's because of team management. And that falls on Ben Cherington and Bob Nutting, and the aforementioned Derek Shelton. TV announcers in their opening games there, from what I read and saw from other teams on their broadcast, are completely trashing the managerial skills of Derek Shelton, saying his players look like they don't even want to be there. Lackadaisical, minor effort, and sloppy defense. In my opinion, yes, that is a very bad look, but let's get back to the players that Shelton has had that had been traded away with no mind of being re-signed and just traded. This now showing a very bad look for the upper management, Bob Nutting and John Cherington. These are all pitchers, and wait till you hear these names and possible pitchers that could have been a part of the Buccos starting rotation. Now, keep in mind, all these guys, they've already been traded, and there was no thought of re-signing these guys. And we'll go back to 2015 in the era of Bob Nutting and Cherington. Charlie Morton in 2015, he was a Pittsburgh Pirate, pitched very well for the Pirates. Garrett Cole, of course, the ace for the New York Yankees. Tyler Glasnow, he's pitching for the Dodgers now. This guy, I don't really remember him being on the Pirates, but he was there. Shane Baz, he's pitching for Tampa Bay right now. Joe Musgrove in 2021. Jameis Talion in 2021. And Clay Holmes in 2021. So right there, that's a combined 329 wins and a 189 loss record, a 3.38 ERA, and that's 7 pitches they let get away. 7 pitches they let get away for nothing. I mean, even if you had those last 3 guys and they were healthy, let's fit Joe Musgrove, Jameis Talion, and Clay Holmes. Even if you put those 3 guys with Paul Skeens, could you imagine the rotation they would have? Or if they never let Garrett Cole go, oh my God, that would be some rotation. So yeah, you got to put the blame on Cherington and Nutting for that. What is going on out there? I put here, it seems there needs to be a major overhaul for the Pirates organization. Someone's got to take over and build around what I call totally more totally more than a generational talent in Paul Skeens. Again, Pirate Baseball is in for a long black and gold tarnishing this season that the Pittsburgh fans will be calling for the heads of all management. There have been leaks already of sell the team, which was the chant on opening day yesterday in the stadium. There's a video out there on social media where I think it was the general manager Nutting was walking in the corridor of the stadium, and the fans were yelling at him, "Sell the team, sell the team." That's bad. Can you imagine being a general manager walking through your home opener and you're being greeted by the fans and they're yelling that at you? Oof, that's rough. Well, let's talk about the good news about the Pirates, and I could see this coming already when Paul Skeens' contract is up. He's going to be gone. He won't be on the Pirates no more, but that's years ahead. So, but he continues. Paul Skeens, he's continuing his journey as being a eventual superstar, which he already is. Paul Skeens' major league career continues with bookmarks. He has made 25 starts in his major league career. This was the game before the home opener. He stopped the losing streak for the Pirates versus Tampa in that last game. He owns a 1.92 ERA with 183 strikeouts. He's the only pitcher to record 175 plus strikeouts while posting a sub 200 ERA over his first 25 big league games in Major League history. He also recorded a 98-mile-per-hour pitch on his 102nd pitch for a 6th strikeout, and that was his last pitch of the game in the win that he posted over the Tampa Bay Rays to stop the losing streak for the Pirates. So, again, looks like a long season. We have Paul Skeens to root for unless something there happens. We'll see what happens with that. We have a comment. And Brian Fanchonio, Boston host. What's up, Ralph? Hey, Brian, how are you? Thanks for joining in, buddy. So we'll see what happens with the Pirates. They're playing the Yankees again today and tomorrow. The Yankees, of course, as you know, I mentioned in the beginning, they've come up with these torpedo bats, and they are torpedoing the ball. I will say that. I think they're setting I think they set a record for the most home runs in the first 5 or 6 games of the season, and they're just adding on to it. It's like they've obliterated the record. Nobody's even close. All right, so I'm going to take a break, come back. I'm going to do the Penguins real quick, and then I'm going to share with you some of my memorabilia that I received from the show last night that I attended, and the reason why we are rescheduling the show. So this is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back after this.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter at any time. Be happy to reply. Always willing to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey, yo, what's good, Georgia? It's your boy ACS, and if you love sports from the Peach State as much as I do, then Georgia Sports Central is your one-stop destination for down south sports, courtesy of IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you a yellow jacket at heart, or do you bleed the red and black of the Bulldogs? Do you keep it true to Atlanta with Trae Young, Capella, and the boys? Do you rise up with the Dirty Birds on Sundays? Are you excited to see what the future holds for Michael Penix Jr., Bijan, and the rest of the Falcon squad? Do you live at 755 Battery Avenue? Do you rep for Albies, Acuna, and the rest of Braves country? If so, then let's get united every Wednesday for some Braves, Hawks, UGA, Georgia Tech, Atlanta Dream, Falcons, and more on Georgia Sports Central, only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, welcome back. This is Ralph Calise, host of the Yinzer Report, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I put the thing on the bottom there for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They had a great surge towards the playoffs there at the end, but eventually it came up short. So here we go with the Penguins. Last week's games as the Penguins play out the string of the 2024-2025 season. Playoffs at this point of the season very much out of reach. Games this week included Sunday versus Ottawa at home. It was a very light week, by the way, for the Penguins, with a stirring 1-0 overtime win over the Ottawa Senators, who are in the playoff spot, the first playoff wild card spot, which that's what the Penguins were shooting for, the second one. Sidney Crosby's overtime goal, power play goal, carries the Penguins past the Senators. Crosby has 8 goals and 15 points during a 10-game point streak. He also has extended a 13-game home point streak. Tristan Jarry had an upside game here for sure, with a shutout, stopping 31 total shots between regular time and OT. This was his 20th career shutout, first this season. As mentioned, his up-and-down season for the embattled Penguins goalie. Let's not forget, he was sent down to the AHL to Wilkes-Barre Scranton this season for some time. He was allowing goal. He was coming off allowing 11 goals in his last 3 appearances, being pulled twice in those 3 games. Evgeny Malkin missed his 3rd game in a row with an upper body injury. This win snapped the 3-game losing streak, and Crosby with 58 points passed Jaromir Jagr for the most points versus Ottawa in franchise history, and the Penguins traveled to St. Louis Thursday, which was this past day, and in that game they lost 5-4 in OT. I tell you, the Penguins playing tough, but they were in every game. They're in every game during this surge, but they just they don't have the talent these days to go on a major run to get there. Brian Rust, Rickard Rakell, and new Pittsburgh fan favorite Ruda McGorty each had a goal and assist. Penguins now have lost 4 in a row on the road. Tristan Jarry faced 24 shots, giving up 5 goals, and finished with a .737 save percentage in this game. That is terrible. The Blues OT goal was scored on a power play as Chris Letang took a slashing penalty. The Blues scored 44 seconds later. This could have been a real crucial loss if the Penguins were vying for that spot, because it would have brought them real closer, but it turned out that both ways that it was a bad loss, and they're not that close. Some good from the game, and I'll start with the captain, Sidney Crosby. He posted his 467th career assist on the road and moved within 2 of matching Mario Lemieux. 469 assists for 10th in NHL history. Rookie right winger and recent call-up Ruda McGorty scored his first NHL goal of his career as the new hockey fan favorite in Pittsburgh made it a nostalgic one as he tied the contest at 4 goals apiece with 23.8 seconds left on a 6-on-5 for Pittsburgh. McGorty now becomes the 30th Pittsburgh Penguin to score a goal for the Penguins this year, and that's tops in the NHL this season. Excuse me. Penguins have 5 total games left. in the season, with the final game being at home versus Boston. That's Brian, if you're still out there. We play you guys the last game, Sunday, April 13th, and it is a nationally televised game at 3:30 on April 13th. So I guess all we have for the Penguins left is those 5 games, and we will track the games. We'll report on them. I'm sure there's going to be some more milestones popping up, and that McGordy goal, which gave them the 30 goals. The Penguins have scored. There are 30 different Penguins that have scored a goal this year. I believe that is close to a record in the NHL of a team having the most players to score a goal on a team. I'm going to look that up. So that's for the Penguins, and we'll track them as 5 games left in the season. And, of course, they're not going to make the playoffs. And that means that's 3 years in a row now with no playoffs in Pittsburgh for the Penguins, which is a crazy place to go to when you have playoffs in Pittsburgh. All right, so we had some time left here. We're done with all the Pittsburgh teams. Let's get into where I was last night and why there was no show. I was out at a sports memorabilia show out here by where I live here in New Jersey. Actually, it was in New Jersey, and I went with my best friend Greg Lapani, and I went to meet Terry Bradshaw and Rod Woodson again. As you know, Rod Woodson is the 1C of the 3 favorite players of my Pittsburgh Steelers. 1A, Ben Roethlisberger, 1B, Hines Ward, and 1C, Rod Woodson. And I don't remember a couple of shows back, or maybe 3 or 4 shows back, I showed you guys I was doing the project with the little pieces of turf that I was getting from a gentleman that is helping me along with this project. And they're encased. I'll show you one here now. So what happened was I brought these to get autographed and authenticated by Terry Bradshaw and Rod Woodson. And, man, it was just great. It was just great seeing. There was a lot of Steeler fans there. And it just talking football with people that love the game and love memorabilia and they just love being around people. It was great. There was a lot of great conversation. And the first one up I met Rod Woodson first. And he had a pretty decent crowd last night. And Rod Woodson played for a lot of teams in the NFL, but he went in the Hall of Fame as a Pittsburgh Steeler, and of course he won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. That kills me just to know that he won a Super Bowl with the Raiders. He did play in Super Bowl 30 for the Steelers against Dallas, where that comeback came up real short when Neil O'Donnell threw a gift to Larry Brown. And Rod Woodson, that was the year he came back from his knee surgery. And he played in the game. And I don't know if anybody remembers the Super Bowl 30. He was covering Michael Irvin, and he broke up a pass to Michael Irvin, and he picked his knee up, and he was going like this, like, yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm all good. So here is the piece of turf in the case, and here is his autograph, and it is authenticated. And this just came out amazing. I don't even really want to touch it, but here it is for you guys. I'll show it to you here on the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio. It's hard to, there it is. There's a good picture of it. Hopefully you can see that as the glare of the case. So again, that is an actual piece of Three Rivers Stadium turf that was destroyed. I guess this gentleman here that I deal with was involved with the stadium, and he saw an opportunity right there. And this is just a great piece of memorabilia. And I'll tell you a funny story about what Terry Bradshaw told me about it. But when I gave it to Rod Woodson, I don't know. It just must be the memorabilia that I bring to these guys. They're just like, they're astounded at looking at it. And he was like, wow. He goes, I used to practice on this. And he was shaking his head like, I used to practice on this. He goes, is that really a piece of turf? I go, yeah. I go, look. He turned it over and he looked at the back before he signed it. And on the back it says, this letter certifies that this enclosed piece of game-used turf is an authentic piece of Three Rivers Stadium from 1983 to 1996. And he was like, man. I asked if he remembered me from last year, and he remembered me. Remember, I had last year I gave him the Hula Bowl ticket. He was in the ticket stub. He was in the whole, and he was like, where the hell did you get this? And just amazed. So that was Rod Woodson. Now we went up to Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw had a line. I mean, the line was so long. I think the place was getting ready to close because it was only till 9 o'clock. His line was so long. They closed all the doors. You weren't allowed in after 9 o'clock. And his line was still like he had at least another half hour to 45 minutes of signing. And here is his. This is Terry Bradshaw's. Be very careful with it because it's a piece now. It's authenticated. I don't want to ruin it. I don't know if you could see it with the glare. He signed it like diagonal. You see the way he signed it? Let's see if I can bring it a little closer if you can see it. There's the glare from the computer. There it goes. You can see that. That's probably good enough. And he took the thing and he looked at it before he signed it, and he was turning it this way and that way. He goes, "Are you selling this?" And I'm like, "I don't sell. I do not sell. This is a project I'm doing with the turf. I think I'm up to 9 now. I have 9 signed between the old Steelers and new Steelers that played there." And he said, Do you see the turf? He said to me, he goes, "Do you see that piece of turf?" He goes, "Look at the padding on the bottom." He goes, "What is that? Less than 32, I don't know how he said it. Less than 32nd of an inch, something like that," he said. He goes, "And could you imagine all the scrapes and burns and cuts we used to get playing on that turf?" I said, "Oh my God, bug it out." I was like, "Oh, wow, that's great." But yeah, it was great. It's just great. He was in a great mood last night. He was singing songs, it's like old Alabama songs, country songs. He was singing as he's signing. He's talking to everybody. Just a great time. And as I've always mentioned here on the Yinzer Report, you go, you spend some money on the players for their autograph, but just spending time with your favorite players and talking with them or something like that with Terry Bradshaw is just something to behold, just a memory for life. And it's a great time. I did offer out invitations to the Yinzer Report to both players. So they have the, as you know, the background. Once I take the screen down, I sent out a background. I gave them a picture of the background with my name and my contacts on the back. And I explained to them that, I'm a podcaster for the Yinzer Report. And I said, just take a look at it, get back to me if you want to be on the podcast. I'd love to have you and this and that. So the invite is out there for Terry Bradshaw and Rod Woodson to be on the Yinzer Report. So hopefully I get some good news for that. I do have some invites out to some other old players that I'm still waiting for them to get back to me. I do want to mention I did have an invite out to I don't know if anybody out there knows or remembers him. His name is Craig Wolfley. He was the announcer for the radio announcer for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He did play for the Steelers back in the 80s, late 80s. He passed on. He had passed on 2 weeks ago. And we see him in camp every year. He stops and he talks to me and my friend Greg Lapani and my son, of course, when we go to camp. And he would always stop in the path there, and he would talk with us, and we'd ask him questions, and he'd give us his answers. And I became a follower of his on X Twitter. He was a follower of mine, and that's where I had invited him to be on the show. And he said he would be on the show after the season, after this past season that happened. But unfortunately, he passed on. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I want to say 2-3 weeks ago. And yeah, I was wondering why I wasn't getting any answers from him because I kept asking him to be on and I wasn't getting any answers. And I feel real bad that I was bothering the guy at a time where he was, he was getting ready to pass on. So it's very sad. Sorry to share that story with you, but and end the show on that note. But hey, we do have a couple of minutes left, and I'll just mention, so that's it for the memorabilia. We'll continue on with the project. Like I said, I'm up to 9, and we will we'll continue on here. Let me just take down this and put this back up. So, hey, that's it. That's today's show. That is today's show. And it's Final Four Saturday. Hopefully everybody's brackets are still looking good. I'm rooting hard for Houston. Let's go Houston Cougars. Any other Houston Cougar fans out there, you know what I'm feeling. I have them in all my pools going to win it all. And tonight they got a tough test. They got Duke. So hopefully everybody out there is still alive in their pools. And I'll cue the music up here. And next week we'll be back at our regular time, 8 p.m. Friday. So put that on your calendars. And Yinzer Report back to its normal time. Hey, we did a good 75 views. Wow, we actually got up there. It was a slow start, but we got up there. I thank everybody for tuning in. This is the Yinzer Report. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Everybody out there, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Let's go Houston Cougars. All right, guys, enjoy your weekend. I'll be signing off. Take care. Ralph Calise again, the Yinzer Report, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go.